Let's talk about your connection, because it only shows. Well,
That is true.
how many did you have in total? Up to how long?
Yeah, so I had two really strong connections.
Had you got engaged to Annie, do you think you would have made it as far as Nick did?
That's a really good question. It's hard to answer. So I was engaged before.
Why was everybody engaged on the show before?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I'm tired, I'd have loved to have just been one and done. I'm tired, and now I got to go through it again at some point,
Did you ever get romantic with anybody else outside the?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
That is very interesting. Welcome. We have Brenden Guthrie here.
Here we go. Mic'd up again, back on the camera.
Love is Blind, Season 9.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Table for One. Hey, Brenden, dude, what's your age?
I'm 32.
32?
32.
Yeah. And so what was the age when you...
I was 30 at the time
Okay.
when we filmed.
A little while ago.
Oh, you're telling me, man.
Dude, I'm going to get into just some Love is Blind questions.
I guess that's why I'm here.
Okay. All right, dude. Because this was kind of it for me. Like there was definitely a point where I thought like, oh man, I could find a wife here and make a genuine connection. But I wanted to know, in your experience, did you realize that you could actually form a genuine connection and fall in love? And if you did, at what point?
Yeah, I think I realized pretty early on because I watched all the seasons of the show, to be honest with you. So I kind of knew, like, going into it, watching the other couples and seeing how those relationships formed and hearing them talk about how quickly that can happen as well. So I wanted to go into that with an open mind and be vulnerable and try to have that happen for myself as well.
Dude, was there a part of you that thought maybe, like, it's still reality TV, right? I mean, so was that ever in the back of your mind? You're like, oh man, what is this going to be like?
Yeah, especially leading up to it because it's the unknown.
Yeah.
We didn't know what the hell to expect. We don't know really, how's that going to feel talking to a wall and not actually seeing that person, picking up on the body language. Are they actually interested in the conversation, so on and so forth? So that was always in the back of my mind. But I think pretty early on that went away.
Mine was like when Chris would come talk to us, he's like, hey, this isn't too hot to handle, or this isn't F-Boy Island. Like, people,
Exactly.
there's a good success rate here. So
Yep.
get bought in fast. And I
Yep.
think he was like very good at doing that. And also Chris is the creator of the show.
Yeah,
People
shout
like-
out Chris for
Yeah.
sure.
Shout out Chris. He was pretty cool. Okay, next question. I mean, did you get emotional or vulnerable sooner than you expected?
I would say I got vulnerable earlier than I expected. I think honestly, you start hitting the serious conversations pretty early on, because you're trying to figure out, do you mesh with this person? What are they actually like? What are their values? So on and so forth. So, I mean, you got to get into the nitty gritty pretty quick
Okay.
because you may or may not talk to that person the next day. It just depends.
Yeah.
So I got vulnerable pretty early on, but I also wanted to as well because that's the whole premise of the show.
Right.
And if somebody can't know me for me, then how is it ever really going to work?
You can't have like surface level talks the entire day because you're going nowhere. And I think
No, and that's the thing. I mean, obviously, there's tons and tons of footage that's not shown as well. So some of the conversations may seem a little surface level or whatever it may be, but you're really getting into the values and the core of that person and trying to figure out if you guys align or not. So some of that's shown, some of it isn't.
Yeah, if it was 2 years ago and you were just getting started on the kind of interview process on that, did you think, 4 months later or however many months later, you'd be, teary-eyed on screen?
That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. No, that whole part is okay to me because I think it's good to be vulnerable.
I wasn't cry-shaming you.
Yeah, No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's good to be able to show emotion, especially us as men. A lot of times we can kind of suppress that and whatnot, but did I expect it? No, to be honest with you. That's doesn't really happen to me that much, but it was also eye-opening and good for me to learn more about myself and be able to feel those emotions too.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Did you warm up to the cameras pretty fast? Because I remember being like there the first day and Nick and Vanessa Lachey are there, and they have like 13 cameras around. You're like, oh my god, I don't know if I can. This is a new world for me.
Yeah, honestly, it was pretty crazy at first, but I do feel like I did warm up pretty fast. But for me, I'm one of those people like, let me just jump into it. Let me do it. Let's get going. Kind of get the nerves out of the way. So it was odd at first, but for me,
did it ever mess with you?
At certain times in the pods, you kind of see the cameraman sliding back and forth, or you might hear him like eating or taking a sip of a soda or something. So that was kind of funny. So that I wouldn't necessarily say throw me off, but it was just kind of like a snap back to, oh, okay, this is happening. Here we are. We're on camera.
Did it keep you from saying certain things? Just, being on camera? I feel like I'd be nervous to like fully open up and.
Yeah, I would say at first it did a little bit, just because I think that was still the experience of warming up to the cameras and getting more comfortable. But as that time progressed, I truly did really pretty much forget that they were there, because then
that can be a bad thing too.
Yes and no for sure. But I was really intentional of really trying to think about, this is potentially somebody I could spend the rest of my life with. I could possibly propose. So I kind of had to push all that to the side and just really focus more than anything.
Yeah. Especially like the sex talks and stuff.
Did that happen?
Yeah. I don't know if they showed
those night dates.
Yeah, they're a little rough. Hey, could you just give us a play-by-play on what Edmund was doing when he was licking the ground?
Ed, what was you doing?
Kissing it, licking it.
First off, I love Edmund. Great guy.
Edmund is genuine. I mean, like, that's him all day, every day.
Yeah. No,
Shout out Edmund.
Yeah, this is him. So I'm in no way, talking bad about him. But I remember I was just sitting there eating, and then I'm like, I know this man isn't licking the floor. I know he's not licking this floor right here. So that's why, you see, I had to do the lean back, and then I heard him, making the little whoopee noises and licking the floor. And I was just like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? But again, that's Ed. And
because there was like, I think 10 more outlandish things that he did that wasn't shown on. And I mean, that's just his personality, right? And it is, it's very fun to watch,
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, I remember the time, I think we were all in the lounge, and we couldn't find Ed, and none of us were on dates or anything at the time, and he was sleeping behind the couch on the floor.
Yeah.
Not on the couch, on the floor behind the couch.
Yeah.
And then he just woke up and back to it.
Oh man. I wanted to ask, like, in the pods, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the men or the women drank more? Leave me out of it.
This is just water.
Yeah.
I think Joe drank the most. Nah,
Okay.
just kidding.
No, Joe drank the most.
It's just jokes. It's just jokes, everybody. I feel like it's pretty even.
Yeah.
I don't really think it was one or the other. I think we, both had some from time to time. A little bit more on the night dates maybe, but that's, when we kind of let loose and have a little bit more fun.
Yeah. Dude, how were you ever exhausted?
Oh gosh. Yeah, all the time. All the time, but not in a bad way, because you're going on your dates throughout the day, and then the nights that the night dates were offered, for me, my thought process was, I want to do the night dates as many as I can, because this is just more time with that person to get to know them, trying to figure out what's what. And that can go pretty late into the night.
And they were fun though too.
They were fun. That's the thing. They were fun, but then you're right back to it the next morning.
Yeah.
So it's your choice, obviously, if you want to do the night dates. But yeah,
you got to take full advantage. You only have so much time. Right?
So it's a little tiring.
Yeah. Let's talk about your connections, because it only shows one.
That is true.
And then how many did you have in total? Up to how long?
Yeah, so I had two really strong connections. The other one was Anastasia. She was not shown really that much in the show, but it was Anastasia and Annie as my 1 and 2. They were both really strong connections leading up to essentially that last day.
Yeah. I know it's hard to compare, right? You don't want to compare like two relationships to each other, but what stood out more about Annie than Anastasia?
Yeah, I've still kind of thought about that from time to time because that was a really hard decision of trying to really navigate that throughout the whole time. Um, Really, it just came down to a feeling, and I know that may or may not make sense, but it was truly just a feeling of something that I could picture a little bit more in the future with Annie as opposed to Anastasia. So that was very very hard to go through, to be quite honest with you. And I know none of that's shown, but that also did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go through the domino effect, man. If we could talk about this, we'll see if it gets cut. Then yeah, but
Sure.
yeah, because there was a sequence of events that happened that doesn't necessarily get shown. That people that maybe weren't on it, but they were there to the last day. So it's wild what ends up kind of in the end. But I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so it was the second to last day, so essentially the day before proposal day. And I still had both my matches, Anastasia and Annie, going into that last day. And I think we all actually had two matches. And when I say all, that means Annie, Anastasia, myself. But then also going into that was Jensen. And I know Jensen doesn't really get a whole lot of time as well, but Jensen had made it pretty far with Anastasia as well. So there's a lot of factors at play and a whole lot that we actually really didn't know going into that because I feel like we did a really good job of not saying by name who we're talking to or who our one or two or whatever it may be is. So the whole domino effect that really kind of started one was Nick as well because I didn't know Nick was talking to Annie like that. We didn't discuss, again by name who it was. But then that second to last day, I went into my date with Annie, and I could tell something was up. They show that in the show. Or like, what's up? Talk to me. I could hear her voice was different.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we started talking a little bit more about everything that's actually happening. Started talking more about. She was telling me what she was wanting. I had thought that we were on the same page pretty much the whole time. But then she said that she was going to choose someone else, meaning Nick. So then that next day, or excuse me, rather that night, I went to sleep thinking that was it. There wasn't anything left for me. I was going to go home.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next morning, they did bring me back, and we had to have the conversation with Anastasia as well.
It's where you broke things off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did I misspoke a little bit. So I knew I was coming back the next day, but that night, or excuse me, the day before, I had the last two dates, which are super long dates with Annie and Anastasia. That's your last time to talk about anything and everything because the next day is proposal day, or should be proposal day rather. So I went to bed that night thinking, that was it, and I was gonna go home because I knew I still had to talk to Anastasia, but I knew in my heart that I wasn't fully there for Anastasia, and even if it wasn't gonna work out with Annie, of course I wouldn't put Anastasia through that, and I wouldn't just switch up my mind or try to do something different. That I would never do that. So that last day, I did have to break it off with Anastasia. I still stayed in the lounge. They kept me throughout all day. I was watching, all the other guys get engaged and whatnot. So that was kind of the domino effect of the whole Nick, Annie, Jensen, me kind of love square. I don't know what you even call it.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty wild day. And then, as you guys see, everybody comes back through getting engaged. And then at the very end, Nick gets engaged. And we're all hanging out at the table. Not that we weren't happy for him, but it was just such a long day and a long night.
we didn't look like it in the show.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't.
Are you and Nick cool?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, okay.
I have no beef with Nick.
That's not what you're saying off
whatsoever.
camera.
Yeah,
right. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
right.
I'm just kidding.
No, there's no beef with Nick. Honestly, we all have to do what we have to do, and we all have different, thought processes and whatnot. So I don't really fault anybody that went through the experiment. But no, I don't have any ill will with Nick at all.
Yeah. What I mean, how hard is it? And I'm asking like I didn't do the same thing, but it's like breaking off a relationship through a wall that you just spent how many hours talking to.
Yeah.
And you might be on hour long, however long the date is, right? And so what was that like for you with Anastasia?
Yeah, it was very difficult. It's so hard to have feelings for two different people, which I know that sounds nuts.
Yeah.
I get it. But it's really how it can happen. Not that you're saying like you love you to multiple people, but you can have feelings for multiple people, and you're trying to figure out like, do I love this person? Can I actually see a future? And then you're continuing to get deeper and deeper as the days progress. So it was very hard to end it with Anastasia. Also knowing that I thought that I wasn't going to get a chance to talk to Annie again either. So it was just, it's an emotional roller coaster. There's so many highs and lows, but breaking it off with anybody once, you've opened up and given so much of yourself and received so much of that person, to then cut that off and not even be able to like see their facial expressions or be around them or, just whatever that looks like. But you're literally just saying it to a wall, and then you're leaving out of a door, and then you're going back to the lounge. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the emotions and the spectrum of them throughout that, it's you're on the highest high of your life. You get done from a date, and then you might hear somebody else's talking, and you're like, oh, and I hate myself. What did I say? I was saying some stupid shit in there.
Exactly. It's like, why'd I do that? Why?
I played that too cool.
Yeah.
Like, I should have been, you only have so much, talking with them too, so you want to be very intentional. But so after watching the season back, I mean, I know we're not fully wrapped. We have reunion and weddings, but with Annie and seeing that, do you think after watching that back that there could have been something or could be something after the fact?
No. The short answer is no. I did really care for her. I truly did. She knows a hell of a lot about me. I know a hell of a lot about her. We got very far in the experiment together, so that's nothing to discount or discredit. But watching it back was hard. It truly was. And then,
oh, really?
It was.
Yeah,
It was. It was. Not really. No, I'm just kidding. It was. It was. It was very weird, to kind of put myself back in that position and kind of feel how I felt at the time. Just because I really didn't see all that happening that way. I didn't think, a couple days before the end, I would have bet the house that I probably was going to propose to Annie. So then how it all transpired in the last, whatever you want to call it, 48 hours or so. That was wild. That going back to the whole roller coaster of emotions. You're going to bed one night on a high, thinking everything is great, and then the next you're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
So it was weird to watch that back. And
are you a one knee kind of guy? Are you gonna be jumping on the couch like Tom Cruise? Like, how would you have proposed?
Yeah, I probably would have just done the one knee. Kept it pretty simple at first, and then I wouldn't have forgot to at the reveal.
Oh fuck.
That was good. Had you got engaged to Annie, do you think you would have made it as far as Nick did?
That's a really good question. It's hard to answer. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have liked to have thought that we would have given it a real go. Everybody's a different person. I don't really think I'm like Nick, and I don't think Nick's like me. He's a great guy, but we're two totally different people. So I don't know if that would have worked for Annie or not, and I don't know if that would work for me or not. Because there's so many other factors. As soon as you get to the getaway, and then you get back to real life, and who knows? So I don't know if that's necessarily a yes or no. But if I absolutely had to choose an answer, it may have been around the same time Nick did. Maybe. I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, that is a tough question.
That's
Very
tough. He's
hypothetical.
putting you in a
Yeah.
bad spot right
Yeah,
now.
it
'Cause, like, you
is.
never,
It
like-
is, because also on the flip side of that, maybe things would have went really well.
Yeah.
And then, it's easy for me to sit here and say now, oh, yeah, I don't think we would have worked out.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe we would have. And then maybe it would be a totally different conversation, totally different situation as well. But from the outside looking in, we probably would not have worked.
Okay. Hey, do you want to do a segment?
Would you like to do a segment is the question. Brought to you by our sponsor.
See, I would love to.
All right. Let's roll the sponsor and get into it. Okay.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Brenden and Joe here from Love is Blind Season 9. We're going to play this segment, What's in the Comments? Brenden, this comment is directed to you. You give me hope. Good men do exist. You are an honorable and admirable. Well done.
I love that comment. Thank you very much. I'll
Joe.
take that.
You're a bitch for real. Aside from how you treated that poor girl, talking about another man behind his back and being cool to his face is a bitch thing to do. You need therapy, Jesus, and a real ass whooping.
Fuck.
Ouch.
Oh.
Brenden,
Uh-oh.
best personality in all Love is Blind seasons.
It's a good one.
Oh, man.
It's really good.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Hey, Joe,
I
you
already know where
look,
this is going. Yeah.
you look mentally retarded
Oh.
Yeah.
with some puking emojis.
Okay.
Hey, Brenden, you are so perfect, seriously. I don't have any doubt the fact you will find your girl soon.
Well, that gives me hope as well. So thank you very much to that commenter.
Joe, damn, you can just tell when someone is going to be truly alone forever.
Oh. Ooh.
It's great.
Back to you, Brenden.
I don't like this segment.
We can keep going. That's fine. Yeah.
I got a few more.
Okay.
Just watch. The way you handled that scene with maturity, respect, and class, really admirable. That no will lead to a better place.
Thank you again.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Dude has the maturity of a middle schooler. Total douche.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got one more each. Brenden, handled yourself amazing. Masculine energy on point.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Joe, you're sickening in the worst way possible.
Oh, okay. Well,
Uh,
sounds like the end of segment, folks.
Oh, I thought we were
That's
keep
the
going.
end of the segment. I could keep going for days, but
Fair enough.
we'll
Back
end
to
it there.
Back to it. Okay.
You should have put the one in there, the kill yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what
I
happened with
forgot
the
about that
two?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some much nastier ones to choose from, but
Wow.
I kept it semi-light.
Yikes.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, we're back on track, folks.
All right.
That's do you think there could have been any successful relationships with anybody else in the cast? Knowing how they move and operate now and meeting them outside?
Yeah. In the most respectful way, probably not. Probably not. As you know, I talked about, I had a couple strong matches and whatnot, but apart from that, honestly, I don't think so. As far as a romantic kind of relationship, friendship, absolutely, but romantic or
Did you ever get romantic with anybody else outside the?
oh no. Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
That is very interesting.
He's a gentleman.
You don't kiss and tell.
Yeah, that'd be rude.
This is where you hit him with the next question.
Pass. All right, dude.
What did you want me to say? Was I supposed to?
Whatever you want to say, buddy. Oh my god.
A gentleman doesn't kiss and tell.
Okay.
You know, that's
And why didn't it work out with said individual?
He just said no.
Oh, sorry. Or with unsaid individual. Never mind. Next question. He's giving me a
got
death
you.
stare.
No.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
you.
Hey, dude, give me a funny, hilarious moment from the guys' common area where we kind of congregated there, because there were so many things that I think weren't shown and just camaraderie and funny things that happened. Do you have any?
Oh gosh, We were in the lounge a lot,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of funny moments. I mean, I remember there was one with Michael. We were playing pool and we couldn't hit a shot to save our lives. And I think we were just like so caught up in the experience of like what the F is actually going on that was like one of the funniest things that we had ever seen. And I have no idea why,
Yeah.
but that's something that sticks out. There's so many different jokes that we said. Michael is hilarious. I know we don't really get to see that from him. I know you and I had a lot of good laughs. Jordan, Dylan as well, Jensen. It was just, I don't know. I mean,
Did somebody
everything with Ed,
Yeah.
everything he does is hilarious, as you guys see.
tell us about, because I know since we talked before and when it happened too, but somebody walked in on you.
Oh, yeah. So it was kind of an aha moment because I was in a date with Anastasia, and then out of nowhere, I hear my door to the pod open, and it was Jensen. He was like, "Oh fuck, sorry," and then he went right back out. And then I thought Anastasia heard his voice because as soon as you open the pod, the audio is on, you can hear. So I thought she heard his voice. And then I brought that up right then and there, and I was like, "Oh, well, okay, there's that." Because she was laughing, and I was like, "Oh," so I connected the dots, and I was like, "Okay, so Anastasia and Jensen are talking or dating." So I was like, "Okay, that was an aha moment for me." So then after that date, I go back to the lounge, and we're sitting there at the kitchen table, and then I was like, "Well, Jensen, now we know." And they, "What the hell do you mean? What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" So then we kind of both were like, oh. So then that's when he knew I was talking to Anastasia and dating Anastasia as well. But that was near the end. But it was also kind of the start of that domino too of like, oh, this is really
Because
serious.
it does provide a weird feeling in the room after the fact. Because we never talked about. I think the ladies would kind of talk about like, oh, this person, had a great date with them, but we were very tight-lipped.
We were.
Because separate church and state. That's we wanted to not have that feeling of oh god,
Right.
Yeah. So, that was rough. That happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was a funny moment in a way, because Jensen's one of my boys for sure. But it was something that really did hit home that, okay, we're getting towards the end. This is getting so serious, and some people may start getting hurt.
Okay. Well, talk about the guys. Did you ever think you'd have close relationships with some of the guys on the pod after?
I didn't really think about that, to be honest, going into it. My focus was honestly to hopefully find my wife, so that was my main focus. But very early on, even honestly the first day, when we all got off the plane, it was me, you, Michael, Jordan in our bus that was going, and we all just started cracking jokes and we got along really well right off the bat. So then it was like, okay, cool, like I'm in it with some good guys. But you guys were just the first few that I had met, so we just kind of naturally started bonding and hanging out and whatnot. And then that's when I realized, like, okay, we can be a soundboard for each other. We can be there for each other as well. And that's when I knew.
Because that doesn't happen on like every season. Like there's some people that hate each other on other seasons, and they don't hang out after. But I just couldn't see a world where it's like, oh, you just went through this experience with someone. I mean, like you're. Yeah, the emotional aspect of it too. It's kind of you're bonding a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost I don't want to call it a trauma bond because it's not that far. Maybe it is. I don't know. It probably is. But no, super grateful for all of you guys. Truly.
I mean, okay, so I guess I just kind of skipped over. Was there anything that rubbed you the wrong way with maybe some of the interviews of some of the people that or Annie? That came up when you heard after, because that can be, a very telling moment too. It's like, okay, out for blood, or I didn't see it that way.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say she's out for blood or anything like that. I don't really get any malicious intent.
I was talking about me.
Or any, different story. How long have you got? No, actually, but no, I mean, I wish we would all just understand, like, we went through this together. And it's a crazy experiment that we did. There's a lot of emotions involved. some are good, some are bad, some indifferent, whatever it may be. With some of the interviews, I guess specifically toward me, again, I don't think there's any ill will, but again, there's always two sides to the story. There's so much that you don't see as well. So like one of the things of, only having surface level conversations, I don't really think that's true in my opinion. We'll go back to the whole door thing. This was something that Annie had brought up, so this was something that, when I was saying, what color door do you want? Because she said she wanted to be heard and so on and so forth. That was something that I was just bringing up from previous dates to say, like, I hear you, I got you, I'll guide you in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But, she feels a different way, and that's fine, but I don't necessarily see it that way. Again, there's just so much that's not shown.
And mind you, it's like, a year and a half ago too. So like bringing up it's kind of hard to get back into it a little bit. It's like, but I just don't know if it happened that way. Or,
exactly.
Yeah.
But again, I don't really think it's from a bad place or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there's
just
a lot
and Annie's very cool too. I mean, she's she's a very nice lady.
Yeah.
So no hate or anything on that.
None.
Let me go. What did you think? There was the rodeo scene in the show, the group get together. What did you think of her comments where she's like, Brenden said something along the lines of, Brenden was so in love with me, and that is not the energy he's conveying tonight.
Yeah. No, that wasn't the energy that I conveyed that night. The reason being, I left the experiment knowing she chose someone else. She went a different direction. And that's fine. I was at peace with that. It was hurtful, but I was at peace with that. So I don't want to interfere with that and kind of prod and how's your relationship doing and did you make the right choice? And it for me, once I knew I was out.
Right. Because what you're gonna go try to pick up an engaged lady,
Yeah,
like,
in front of her fiance.
Yeah.
Hey,
can I pull you for a chat?
That's really.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Love Island, I'm here. But that's the way that I thought about it, and more from like a respectful kind of way.
Yeah.
We chatted, while we were there, and some of that's on camera, some of it's not. But it wasn't necessarily like the one-on-one kind of chat.
Yeah.
It was, kind of while
How's
we're all
the weather?
together. Stuff, just different various things, but it wasn't quote unquote the one-on-one. So I could see where she's coming from on that, but it was also intentional because I didn't want to get myself in the middle. And honestly, by then I had already removed myself from the situation. I didn't feel the need to really hash that out or talk about it. She told me her reasons. That's fine. I said my piece on that last day, and that's where it was.
Yeah. Okay. Any regrets overall?
No regrets. Things work out how they're supposed to. And I can honestly say that I wouldn't have changed anything.
It's good. What?
That's
So
how you do it.
grateful for after it's all said and done, and it can't be the friends you've made.
I'm grateful to learn even more about myself and the fortitude that honestly I have. And what I mean by that is we go through a hell of a lot throughout this experiment. We truly do. And there's just so many different emotions, and some of it, I'd even kind of suppressed, I think, within myself, that I allowed to open up and be more vulnerable, have more expression, and really let somebody get to know more of Brenden and what I'm about and what it is that I want. And I honestly learned more about myself going throughout this whole experiment.
Hey, that's good. Hey, you hate anything about it? Like, I mean, was there something you're just like, God, they're out of energy drinks today or something?
No, I mean, honestly, there's nothing that I hate or even dislike. I mean, truly, it was just good. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I can't talk bad about it.
Yeah.
I really can't.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought about it. But like, I think I brought a book right now. I was like, I'll just read and better myself.
Actually,
you're just so fucking tired.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, let me retract. Not being able to listen to music, but that was my own fault
Yeah.
because we can,
Yeah.
but we just can't have access to the outside world, can't
Mhm.
connect to the internet,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, stuff like that. So that was my own fault. I
Mhm.
thought I brought an MP3 player, which, what's that from 1998?
Yeah.
Come on. Because music is just one of those things that like
Yeah.
just it's my baseline. Whenever I can listen to some music, I'm good. But I wasn't able to really do that there.
Yeah. No.
That was tough.
Yeah.
But that was my own doing. I messed up.
Well, shit. I mean, I think we'll wrap up the LIB stuff. I mean,
I've got a really serious question for you.
Hit him with it.
Have you ever woken up before?
Yeah, it's a crazy concept. I mean, I think we all do wake up.
What about you? You ever woken up before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have.
we all do it
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
when we're able to.
Me too. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's a
Yeah.
good one. It's a good one by Isaac. Zing. Okay, I want to get into. So this is a dating podcast, right? Where the hopes is like, obviously people already have seen you, right? But like the other people that we have on, it's kind of like a spotlight for them, and
Sure.
hope is like people reach out and stuff. So like, I guess let's get into some of the stuff, and this might have been showcased on the show, but just past experience, because I know you've gone through some stuff. We both imploded engagements before. Maybe multiple on mine, but I mean, how? I mean, tell me about it.
Yeah. So I was engaged before. That was about a 2.5 year relationship.
How was everybody engaged on the show before?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I'm tired. I would have loved to have just been one and done.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. I'm tired, and now I got to go through it again at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was like mid-20s, right around my mid-20s or so, mid to late 20s, the relationship. And that was a very tough time, because yes, I was engaged. No, it did not last. We called off the engagement, and that was, one of the hardest things I've truly had to do. But I knew that it was the right thing to do as well, because, we all deserve to be with our best friend. We deserve to be happy. And I've seen too many relationships and marriages that fail because they're not happy or they're not there for each other. You can just tell they're just with each other just because it's somebody to be with. And I don't think that's fair to anybody. So that was very difficult to do, but I have been through that.
Yeah. Learned a lot about yourself.
Oh my
through that?
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to give myself the learning lessons the hard way, I guess. I don't know. I wish it'd be a little easier from here on out.
Right.
Hopefully it is.
Well, I think that's even the case. Like, you meet somebody, you get engaged to them, you get married, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of what is bred or ingrained in you as you're going
Sure.
through. And sometimes you're like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it goes, and you just learn more and more about yourself and that person, and sometimes things don't work out how you planned it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, isn't that?
All right, I'm done. No. All right.
Bro, what are your red flags? Because you
Oh.
look like a great guy right now. Give me some red flags.
My red flags. The one that comes to mind is on my right day, I feel like I could date Ana de Armas. I
Here we go. We'll get some woman hate from that.
hey, I mean that in all respect, but it's the
Yeah,
truth. It's
yeah.
the truth.
Mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
like on
You think you could pull Dua Lipa on the right day?
I think she's engaged now, man.
Oh,
And
okay,
I respect
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I respect
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah. As you've shown in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. That could be a red flag, toxic trait. I don't know, whatever we want to call it. It's jokes, but I also kind of feel like, just give me a shot. Maybe. Yeah. Anna, if you're listening.
Do you go up to? Let's talk about dating now. I mean, how has dating been after that? Have you been on dates?
Since the show,
Yeah.
or what do you?
Yeah, or maybe chatting up somebody or trying to form a little connection with anybody, or are you kind of playing it? You're just taking it easy right now.
I've been on some sporadic dates here and there. Sometimes I'll just kind of stop dating altogether just because I may not be in the right headspace for it, or maybe it's not the right time, or maybe it's a date that I was just like, what the hell is going on? Why am I here right now? Whatever it may be. So I went on some dates from time to time. I'm in a place where I do want to still intentionally date,
Yeah.
find, my wife, be married. Again, I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Tired.
Tired out
I'm
here.
tired.
How is because you've been in Denver for how long?
I've been in Denver for, gosh, getting close to 8 years now, between 7 and 8 years.
8
Yeah,
years?
yeah.
And
I think
how-
next summer it'd be 8.
And you obviously had a long-term relationship for a
Mhm.
little while here, but
Mhm.
the dating when you were single, we ask everybody this.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I think previously it was quote unquote menver. You know, there's so many other or so much more men here than women. I don't know if it's necessarily the case anymore.
Mhm.
I used to be, on Hinge before. I won't do that again. So I have no
Yeah.
idea really what it's like
So
now.
you're gonna just meet organically now.
Yeah, it's got to be organically, or if anything, like the DMs. I'm open
Yeah.
for that, but I'm not gonna download.
How do the DMs look right now?
I haven't received one.
Shut up.
Not even a one.
Now
That's
I
the
know you're
crazy.
lying. Yeah.
That's that. No,
Uh,
I've gotten some funny ones, some good ones as
Mhm.
well. I've had some hate from time to time too, but I honestly try not to look at all of the DMs or all of the comments. But for the most part, whenever I do see something, it's nice, which is good to see.
Yeah. Would you ever go on a date with somebody that DMs you? I mean, is there hope for anybody watching that wants to?
Yes, please. Yeah, there's hope for sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with DMing somebody.
Mhm.
I'd actually prefer that. If you want to shoot your shot, then shoot your shot. That's
Mhm.
fine. I think in this day and age, it's almost kind of like a dating app in a weird way. Because if you see their pictures or whatever, and you think they're attractive, and you like what they're about, maybe they're doing sports or whatever else you're into,
Yeah.
then why not? I
Absolutely.
don't know. So maybe.
Yeah. Give me some definite no-goes for you. Whether it's icks, some people call it that.
A no-go for me is like being super late to things.
Oh, fuck, I'm late to everything.
Super-
dude. I'll text you when we're going to work out. I'll be like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. and
Yeah,
it's like-
these guys the worst. No, I'm just kidding. He actually does do that though.
yeah.
No, like if it's something where it's like we've got like dinner plans and we're meeting our friends out at like a certain time, it's respectable to be there on time, and it's like, oh, we'll be there 30 minutes, 45 minutes late. Like that's crazy work to me. I understand sometimes certain things are like, out of your control or whatever, sure, but if it's like a consistent thing, that would probably drive me a little nuts. Another no-go, somebody who doesn't really have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to have like an abundance, but we have to be able to be our own people and be individuals at the same time, but be able to come together and like miss each other and go our separate ways, but then come back. And I've got a really strong friend group, and I would hope that's the same for my person as well, because I think it's good to have guy time, it's good to have girl time, and it's good to be able to mingle and mix that together as well. So I think that's another no-go for me, or a red flag, or whatever we want to call it.
All right, let's talk about type. We're getting a little shallow here.
We would never do that, man.
Yeah.
We would never do it.
No.
Love is blind.
Love is blind.
Love
What's
is
your
blind.
type?
I truly don't have a specific type, and I genuinely do mean that. Now, if there's something that I would hope for, I would hope that she's kind of into some sort of sport or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I like to be active.
Hobbies, all that.
Yeah, I like to be active. I like to play various sports. I like to, be outside, whether it's walking, running, whatever it may be. So I would hope that my person is aligned with that, because that's something that's pretty big for me, and I'm trying to live a long and hopefully healthy life, and I would want my spouse to have that too, so we can live long together. But as far as like a physical trait, I don't really think there's one thing that's necessarily my type.
Yeah. What value wise?
Yeah, value wise, believes in God. I believe in God, and that's important to me. So I would want my person to be on the same page. That can cause misalignment, I think, maybe at times. Um, so that's one that's up there for me.
What do you think is the issue here? I guess just
Jeez,
generational. Well, you're no dating coach. I know. I mean, like, not that you couldn't be. I think, but I mean, just a little insight of maybe why you think, or is there something going on generationally, or is it just Denver in itself?
I don't know. That's a really good question and something that I've thought about a lot because, we're living it, or I'm living it, and it's tough to really kind of pinpoint one thing because, hey, I know some of it could be me too. I'm
Yeah.
not sitting here painting myself as some perfect person. We're all growing and evolving, but I don't really know exactly what it is here with Denver.
Yeah.
But I'm also starting to think maybe Denver's not it. I don't
You
know.
think your person's not here?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay. Man, you're giving up.
No. I'll never give up. I'll never give up. But it's just interesting to think about. Obviously, I've went on dates and been engaged and went on a TV show, and it still has not happened. So I maybe got to
Maybe when you're 50.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I would love to have some kids and have a family.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Do you ghost people?
Nah, I don't think I don't think that's a good move. Now, also with that being said, is there gals that I may have went on one date with and then it just fizzled and we didn't say anything? Yeah. Yeah, but I don't really think that's ghosting. It could be. And to those that think that, I'm sorry. I don't think that it is. Not that that happens a lot, but if you were going on multiple dates and, spending a lot of time with this person and you're not communicating why you don't want to continue that, then absolutely that's ghosting. I think that's too far.
You like to pull the old, oh, I forgot my wallet trick a lot, I heard. Talk around town.
I think probably 37 times.
In the last month?
No. I would never do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, give me some, like, hobby wise has to be, like, what would you do with your partner? What is the fun things you like to do?
Gosh, I like to do a little bit of everything, It could be just listening to music or discovering new music. It could have been, going to check out the foliage, with fall right here. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. It could be doing a puzzle or
I love looking at foliage. And
Hey, I actually do.
yeah.
It could be puzzle, board games, card games, watching a movie. It could be going out to date night. Could be going to the gym. We could go play pickleball, tennis, take the dogs on a walk. Literally, I'm anything. I'm open. So that's, but also on the flip side of that too, don't get me wrong. I love a quiet night in. I love to just.
You do, man. I'll try to get you out every now and again.
Truly,
I'm with my dog.
Yeah, my social battery can drain, and then I love to be at home with my dog Milo. Shout out Milo. And we can just hang out and just be on the couch watching TV or just hanging out,
What's one thing you love about yourself?
The thing that I love about myself is I would say I'm a compassionate person, and I feel like I can really pick up on, kind of where people are at or the energy, emotions, and maybe that kind of goes back to me
Emotionally intelligent, you would say?
Yeah, not trying to hype myself out too much, but I truly feel like, over the years and just so many highs and lows, I think that's got me to where I'm at today. So I do consider myself emotionally intelligent. I do consider myself self-aware, and those are two qualities that I really pride myself on.
Yeah, nice. You got any comic relief over there?
All right, let me backtrack with a little bit of a tougher question, but I gotta ask. Did you run into Annie after the filming, and was there a connection?
I think we were together at a group setting. Not too long after the filming had wrapped up. We didn't really talk that much. I don't want to say there was a connection or anything. But that again, that was in a group setting as well. We never one-on-one saw each other.
Okay.
Nice. All right, man. I might hit you with our last question then.
All right, let's
Ask
do it.
everybody.
do it.
Why are you a catch?
I am.
Brag on yourself.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm a catch because I'm ready to be married. I am ready to hopefully have kids, ready to have a family, ready to grow with somebody, continue to evolve. And I'm not about the BS. I'm a straight shooter. What you see is what you get. And I think that's a good thing, because it's not some iffy back and forth. I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. No, when I'm all in, I'm all in. When I'm out, I'm out. And I feel like that's a good quality to have instead of trying to mess around with people's feelings or my feelings, because nobody wants to get hurt. And I'll be a good provider. I'll be a good husband. I know that through and through. I feel it in my bones. I felt that for such a long time, and I truly mean that. And I'm excited, and I am still hopeful to be able to do that with someone.
Right. That's probably one of the best answers.
He always says it. I can attest. I mean, I'm sure the viewers can tell just by watching. Total stand-up guy, heart of gold. He's such a gentleman. He's the man.
They're hyping me up too much.
Yeah, no. Probably.
I see Dylan back there,
I would
too.
say the dad of the group,
Yeah.
Probably the most sane.
Responsible.
Responsible.
Got his life together.
Got his life
Yeah.
together. Yeah, he's got a car and an apartment.
Yeah. Are the DMs open?
The DMs are open.
All right,
please.
ladies, you hear that?
Mm-hmm. And where can we reach you at, Brenden?
It's my first name, last name _
Okay.
on Instagram. That's where you can reach me.
Brenden Guthrie _
I don't currently have a TikTok or Twitter or any of that stuff, so just reach me on Instagram.
Okay. Well, there we go, folks. And that's the end of the episode.
Brenden, thank you so much. What a great episode.
Thank you guys for
Appreciate
having me.
you, baby.
Appreciate you.
Shout out Dylan.
Type shit.
Shout out Dylan. Ty, yeah.